Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back everybody to everything that you missed in MMA this week. This is where we go through every single little bit of news that's been going on in the MMA world. We have, again, timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part. Some are important, some are things that you don't even care about. We have all of the fight announcements, potential fights. We're going to go through all of it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it. Starting off with this huge trending thing that's been going on is Alex Pereira and Polyana Viana are, and you know what? Typically you see these things, these memes come up in the MMA community where it's like, these two are reportedly dating. Charles Oliveira and this person who's crazy, like, is reportedly dating, but it seems like these two are actually, like, you know, really getting it on. And it's kind of weird, man, because I don't care about this, like, at all. Well, like, I like watching Alex Pereira and I like watching Polyana Viana, to be honest with you, but it's crazy to me how many of these Alex Pereira fans, and I'm an Alex Pereira fan. I really like the guy, okay? But it's crazy to me, all these Alex Pereira fans, how obsessed they are over this, you know? It's like they're the ones, like, actually, like, rolling around with Polyana Viana. It's like, you know those people who, like, oh, yeah, we did it when they talk about a team. I've always disagreed with that, and when it comes to, like, any sport, football, hockey, whatever. Yeah, we won the game. It's like they're doing the same thing with Alex Pereira. Yeah, we bagged Polyana Viana. Like, I just don't get it, man. But, hey, you know what? That's the news. It's probably been the biggest topic this week. Now we do have a little bit of news on Brandon Royval. He is injured and he said he likely tore his MCL in the first round. This is not confirmed, but we know that Brandon Royval is injured. I just don't think that he's had the necessary scans to see what's actually going on, but regardless, he's going to be out for a little bit. A little bit more interesting news. Now we have UFC 300 and Israel Adesanya. Apparently, according to Israel Adesanya, the UFC wanted him to headline UFC 300 versus Dricus du Plessis, but Israel Adesanya said that Dricus du Plessis has turned down the fight. We haven't heard anything from DDP yet, but of course, this is all Adesanya's word. And to be honest with you, I kind of believe him. I don't know why DDP would take a fight. Well, I mean, UFC 300 is kind of a big deal, but he's probably like really pieced up, and Israel Adesanya would be a name to headline UFC 300. So that would make a lot of sense. I just don't understand why they didn't do Izzy versus Alex Pereira, man. That would have been the perfect main event. Now, guys, this is where you have to comment down below and let me know, for those of you who regularly watch, because I don't know if you're going to want to hear about bare knuckle news, but it has to do with a couple MMA fighters. So now, Mike Perry does have a fight in bare knuckle, but a couple MMA fighters that are going to go over later this year, it's to be expected, is Darren Till and Anthony Pettis. We don't have an update on Anthony Pettis, but Darren Till wants to have 2 fights in boxing before he enters the bare knuckle cage. So we're going to likely see those two. According to bare knuckle, the name of the person who runs it is escaping me at the moment, but he said that we can expect Till and Pettis towards the end of the year, which is really interesting. I'm a big fan of both guys, especially Anthony Pettis, one of my favorite fighters ever, dude. Now let's talk about Ilia Topuria, though. So Ilia Topuria has been talking a lot, and one thing in particular that he said is he's going to retire young. He's going to retire between 30 and 32, and what is he, like 27 right now, 28, something like that? So we do not have a ton of time in the game for Ilia Topuria. Honestly, guys, a lot of people have been hating on him, but I think it's smart. Why take the brain damage? Do what you can, make your money, get out of there. Take the Khabib approach. I will never look down on him for doing that. I think that's absolutely genius. Look what Henry Cejudo's doing. Look what Volkanovski's doing. All these fighters that constantly stay in the game longer than they're supposed to, I don't mind this at all. I think that's awesome. Now, speaking of Ilia Topuria, we have a little bit of Alexander Volkanovski news. So Volkanovski has been making the rounds. He's made a couple of YouTube videos. We've seen a lot of things coming from him on social media. So a little bit of an update for him. He's not going to take a fight on short notice again. He's going to rest up, let his body heal. And now it was something very interesting. He said that he was always fighting for his family, fighting for his gym, fighting for Australia, fighting for everybody but him. But now he's going to be focusing on himself. I don't know if that'll really make a difference. I kind of think that Volkanovski's getting old. He's past his prime, and his chin may be gone. I know he did take on Ilia Topuria, a huge power puncher, but still, I don't like this, man. I don't like this. He's going to ruin his legacy just like Henry Cejudo, like we've seen so many times. But hey, Alexander Volkanovski's going to rest. He's going to do everything that he can to get that belt back for him this time. Now, speaking of fighters past their prime, Jorge Masvidal, everybody's been saying that he's broke, and I don't really understand why Jorge Masvidal's doing this, but Jorge Masvidal wants a fight. He wanted to fight, I think it was Nate Diaz again. He wanted to fight at UFC 300. He wanted to fight Ben Askren. And now he wants to fight Chael Sonnen. Now he really wants to break Chael Sonnen's orbital. It's funny because everybody was really making fun of Jorge Masvidal all week, because now every single time he talks about somebody, he's like, I would really love to smash this individual's orbital bone in their face, you know, man, like I would love to do that. This individual, he uses individual and he uses orbital bone now. So it's funny because all the comments are now saying something like, oh, it's like Jorge Masvidal just learned what an orbital is. It's so funny to me. But I don't get it, man. He must need money. People are talking about like Colby took all his money or something, or if he spent it all. I don't really get it, but he is clearly trying to get a fight, and he wants to get a fight with Chael Sonnen now. So the dude seems a little bit desperate, to be honest with you. Either that or he just misses being a star. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Now, guys, I do want to bring you through, before we get into all of the fight announcements for this week, there are some potential fights, okay? This is fights that people have been talking about, some call-outs. I'll just list them off to you right now, what we have. So Dana White said Alexa Grasso's next fight will be announced very soon. Brian Ortega wants Ilia Topuria if Volkanovski ends up sitting out, which is taking place, and why can I see them doing that instead of Movsar, man? I just got a funny feeling about that one. Nate Diaz wants to fight in the Sphere at UFC 206. He probably, I don't know, do you think they would do Conor McGregor? That'd be wild. Make Chandler sit out. Henry Cejudo wants to be on that same card at UFC 206 at the Sphere. He wants to fight, Brandon Moreno. Henry Cejudo moving down to flyweight would be very, very interesting. Now, Dan Hooker wants to return in June against Fiziev or Moicano. That makes a lot of sense. I would love to see that. And Paulo Costa wants to fight at UFC 301 and stay active. Do I believe him? Not a clue, but hey, Paulo Costa is always fun to talk about, right? Now, for the actual fight announcements this week, we have John Massamuto versus Dan Argueta on April 6th. Vinicius Oliveira versus Bernardo Sopai this weekend. Gimori ended up pulling out of that fight. Ludovic Klein versus AJ Cunningham on March 2nd. Julian Alvarez pulled out of that fight. Islam Makhachev's next fight. Well, I put that in the wrong section. I'm sorry, everybody. That was supposed to be in the potential fight section. I have a little bit of notes on here for all the fight announcements because there's no way I can memorize them. So Islam Makhachev wants to fight 2 more times this year. Anyways, Na Liang is going to take on Ivana Petrovic on April 27th. And of course, more bare knuckle. We have Mike Perry versus Thiago Alves on April 27th, along with Ben Rothwell versus Todd Duffy on April 27th. That's going to be actually crazy to see Todd Duffy back, man. But yeah, let me know if you want me to integrate these bare knuckle fights. I wouldn't put bare knuckle fights like in general. I don't follow the sport, but I just follow the MMA fighters when they go over there. So if you're interested, let me know about this whole thing if you guys would like to see more of that. But speaking of fight announcements, guys, check out this video on screen right now. It's a message for Alexander Volkanovski from a fan. It's a video I think is still a little bit relevant. Check it out, guys. Take care.